On this episode of Outside the Spoon, we're going to be at Resaca de La Palma State Park. Hard to say.
What have you seen so far?
This with yellow berries.
Ooh, so maybe a kiskitty. Do you see the cardinal right here? See the potato tree and the green jay? Oh, another green jay.
Green jay, yeah, we've seen a lot of those.
We've been
Yeah.
seeing.
Where are they from?
South Texas.
Okay.
So they're a fairly localized species. If you go much further north, that cardinal came back. They would compete with blue jays, and blue jays are mean. So
They are mean.
Run them
have-
out. Gotcha.
separate zones. And then that choot, 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 we hear are green jays, and they make that call when they're annoyed. Something's bothering them. So if it's like 10 or 12 of them making the call, there's usually a predator, like a snake or an owl or a hawk. So I was like, oh, there's a lot of them, and I go and see. So cool. So we've seen green jays. It looks like there's a couple of little sparrows in the cenizo. Can you see them?
They're
Yeah.
teeny tiny.
Very small. Little friends. It's just right outside the building. We're having some good luck. Often when it gets really hot, we see fewer birds and more butterflies. Not mind us. Don't worry. So that kind of gray one that just hopped on the tree is called a gray catbird, and it meows. So when they're talking to each other, it sounds like a bunch of cats meowing. It's kind of poked up in this tree now.
Oh yeah, I see he's on the other. Oh, maybe.
Yeah, on the other side.
Oh yeah, yeah. You see him?
Yeah, same.
The first couple of times I heard it, I'm like, there's a cat? Where is the cat at?
I already heard it meow. This is a butterfly garden.
Yep. So it seems like lots of folks are hanging out right here.
Yeah, I like this purple flower.
So our little purple flowers are called mist flowers.
Mm-hmm.
The big orange ones, they kind of look like a monarch, but they're actually called a queen. They're a mimic. And then this little guy's called a fiery skipper. So you see when the sun comes through its wings, it kind of looks like a fire.
Oh yeah.
And then this one is a sickle wing because its wings curve in like a sickle. It's a white peacock.
Yeah, the sickle's unusual.
I see the white one. He's pretty.
Yeah, a lot of butterflies when they land, they close their wings, but these keep them open. Oh yeah. Our best time of the year for butterflies is actually a little bit earlier in November, but it's warmed back up, so we've had some better luck. Our little nice. So they come in pink and orange.
Do they smell?
I don't have a great sniffer, so a lot of times people are like, do you smell that? And often my answer is no.
A little bit.
So the bird that's singing that song is bright orange, and it's just coming into the feeder.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
he's super bright.
So he's an Altamira Oriole, and that's like a cousin to Baltimore Orioles, but they have a black mask instead of a black head. And they sing the prettiest song.
Yeah, it's very pretty.
What is the screeching black bird? That just,
Those are great-tailed grackles.
and they just sound awful.
Yeah, like
I
monsters.
mean, I just want to. I mean, they were
Grackle.
camping, and there's
Oh.
a ton of them in our
Oh,
campground,
yep.
and they just
They are predominantly a parking lot bird.
right. I know.
And
Yeah.
their flocks are huge.
Oh,
so you
yeah,
have,
yeah.
300 members in a single flock, and they just dominate.
Right.
We're a little too wild for them. We see them occasionally, but I think they're like, I'd rather go back to town.
Right. I did see one here. Yeah, that's interesting. Or urban bird.
We see a lot of parrots in Brownsville, but not in the park because it's the same deal. Park's a little bit too wild. They like, so that's enough. If they were closer, I would go and see what was bothering the green jays.
Oh.
Like, oh, what is it? Occasionally they'll chatter at us. Like they're like, hey, you're a predator too, don't forget. Oh, a little white. Looks like somebody chomped. Took a bite out of his wing. We've seen a lot of dragonfly activity. And when there's no mosquitoes to eat, they switch over to the butterflies.
Oh no.
I don't guess I knew that dragonflies ate other bugs.
Butterflies are like, ah.
Well, I knew they ate other bugs, but I didn't know that they ate butterflies.
Yep. So it's those white spots and the skinny black veins. If they had no spots and fat black veins, then it's a monarch. But I always have to stop and look because sometimes you'll have a monarch mixed in there. They migrate from north to south, and we're just a little too far south. They hit here, but just a little further north, maybe about 30 miles.
Oh wow, that close.
If there's a big storm, they get blown in.
Yeah.
Alright, so we've probably seen like 3 or 4 different bird species. Watch out for the ants.
Ooh, wow.
They'll give you the bites. A colony of fire ants.
The ants are crazy down here.
They're, yes. I don't see any issues.
So we've experienced those before, haven't we?
Yeah, we have.
Alrighty. How old are you?
7.
Perfect. So we're gonna work on your level 1, and that means we're gonna do 5 activities. Seem fair?
Yeah.
And then if you do more of the activities on your own and bring the book back to me, I'll swear you in for your level 2 or your level 3 badge. You just would work on that kind of on your own. Okay, so here's a picture of some people. There are people that are doing good things and people that are doing bad things in a park. What I would like you to do is circle the people that are doing good stuff and then put an X to the people that are doing bad, and we'll talk about which is which and why. Who's somebody doing something good? So what about this is good? What are they doing that's appropriate in a park?
Hiking.
Hiking, and what do they have with them?
A map.
And then how many people are there?
2.
2. So when we hike, it's really a good idea to go with a buddy. The map keeps you from getting lost, so they get a gold star. All right, who else is doing something good?
Look on the dog.
I like that the dog is on a leash because that protects the dog from animals and animals from the dog. And what else does that person have?
A water bottle.
Water bottle. Here in Texas in the summertime, it's 120. So you don't make it very far without your water. So we could circle them. All right, there's somebody doing something in this picture that I think is pretty weird.
Yeah. That's bad.
I don't know who comes to a park to dig a hole with a shovel. Murderers. But I don't, that's very, very weird. We don't want to dig random holes in state parks. The people could fall in them. It disturbs the landscape. Now there's one more good thing that's happening. I take that back, 2 more good things.
Camping.
So they're camping at a campsite and their fire is in the
Pit.
It's not just loose, gonna burn down the whole fire. Now the last good thing on here is more of a concept than a person doing an activity.
Oh. Okay. Here. Trash can.
What's this symbol mean?
Recycle.
Recycling. So once he's done with his water bottle, he has a good safe place to put it.
Yep.
That protects all of the animals in our whole environment. And a pretty simple, easy thing. Does all of this make sense?
Yeah.
Do you have any questions about the good and the bad?
No.
All of it's pretty straightforward. Alrighty. This is why we did our hike. So I would like you to take, we'll call it probably like 5 minutes to draw something that you've seen in the park. Or I would even take something that you've seen here in Texas since you're from Kentucky. I imagine some of this. So tell me about your picture.
That's a bird feeder. We saw the yellow belly thing.
Looks like the green jay to me.
Yeah, green jay.
Green jay, but we want to call them yellow bellies, don't we?
Yellow bellies, that's okay.
That's what we were calling them before we
Yeah.
figured out like what you told us we knew it was.
Yeah.
Yellow belly. Well, now we're learning our birds. It all works out.
Yeah.
So this one is a lot of fun because it's riddles. So you have animals on the side and then riddles in the middle. We can take turn reading them. How's that sound?
Okay.
Okay. I have plenty of backbone but lack a good leg. I peel layers like an onion but still remain whole. I hiss when I have something to say. I can be long like a flagpole yet still fit in a hole. Which creature do you think that is? Very
Snake.
good. You just draw a line.
Get up. There we go.
All right, you read this one.
My
Tongue,
tongue grabs insects on its skinny,
sticky,
sticky surface. I can be green or brown to blend in with the ground, like a ground.
I like
I like wet places, especially ponds. Sometimes you'll see me on land hopping around. Bunny? Wait,
they have sticky tongues. Do you think bunnies have sticky tongues?
No.
Let's look at our creatures. Who might have a sticky tongue to catch insects? Yeah, leopard frog. See, they're riddles. Sometimes you really got to think about them. All right, this one is the hardest one. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Are you listening and wearing your thinking cap?
Mm-hmm.
I am born high up in the mountain range. I run for miles without getting faint. Animals, fish, and plants live inside me. You can help me by conserving water with a little more restraint. It's a concept more than a thing.
It's either a wolf or a bunny. Or maybe.
We're gonna conserve it by using less of it. And it can run for miles and miles and miles without getting tired. So a coyote would probably get tired after a couple of miles.
Yeah.
There's a really, really big one that you're close to right now. It's really big. There's a really, really big one in Egypt. There's a really big one near where you, well, not that close to where you were in Kentucky. Yeah, the river.
River.
I told you that's the hardest one. It's more of an idea than an actual thing. Okay, are you ready for the next one?
Yeah. I'm up all night.
You're up all night? Sometimes. No, I'm kidding. Go ahead.
Swimming or climbing trees. I think I know what this one is already. I have a tail of black and white bands.
Mm-hmm.
My facial markings look like a mask in front of my paws. Look a lot like your hands.
Who is that? Oh, a raccoon. Very good. I have big ears, but I'm very small. My fur is soft like a baby's blanket. My tail feels like a fluffy cotton ball. I live on the forest floor. Who do you think that one is?
A bunny.
Which I think is funny because this sounds like a cottontail rabbit and this is a picture of a jackrabbit. I'm like, those aren't the same. But yeah. Okay, tell me this one.
I have 2 legs and 2 wings. I tip my head underwater to grab a snake.
Snack. That was a hard word.
I swim in the pond and waddle on land. You can hear me from away. I talk a quack.
With the quack.
Yep. Quack. Yeah.
Good job. Okay, this one is another one that's a little bit tricky. I am part of a tree. I protect it like a coat. Carving your initials is not good for me. My name is also a sound that a certain animal makes. Who do you think that is?
The bark.
Yeah, very good.
On the tree.
Mm-hmm.
I howl. I howl quite loudly, usually at night. I'm
Related.
related to a pet you might find in your house. My dog. My fur can be brown, gray, yellow, or white. Who am I?
Who's left?
Yeah.
So that's
coyote?
coyote. Good job. So what do you think? Were they pretty good riddles?
Yeah.
Do you know what else they are? They're poems. So it's poetry. So that's what I kind of like about poetry is sometimes they're more like a riddle and sometimes they tell you a story or we listen to them on the radio all of the time when we set them to music and we make songs. Pretty cool?
Yeah.
Alrighty. These are all of the activities you can do at various state parks. Some of them you can't do at my park, Like we can't go rock climbing.
Yeah.
We're in a coastal floodplain. We don't have rocks. We just have rivers.
But we can
Go mountain biking. Or something you might do if you haven't already done it yet today.
Okay, I'm definitely gonna go bike riding. Hiking, we already done that.
Perfect. Alrighty. These are going to be our last 2 activities. So for this one, you're just going to ask me some questions, and I'm going to tell you about what it's like to be a park ranger.
Okay, right here.
Mm-hmm.
What do you like best about being a park ranger?
This, I love working with people. So I like hanging out with you.
What is the hardest part of being a park ranger?
When I find dead animals because people weren't respectful. When we
Yeah.
see birds full of plastic, that makes my heart really sad.
What is the strangest or funniest thing you have seen at this park?
So I take people out and I'm like, Park Ranger Kelly, and I'm an expert, and I said, oh, everybody look, some birds. It wasn't birds, it was a bobcat. So I had to turn and tell all of these people, actually, that's a bobcat. So I felt really silly that I misidentified the animal. Especially so drastically. A bird and a cat are 2 very different things.
Yeah. What is your favorite place at this park?
I love our Ebony Trail. So it's really short, it's easy to navigate, it takes you out, and a lot of times there are really good birds and butterflies down it.
When did you
You're right there. Yep.
decide
Very good.
to become a park ranger?
So I always liked the outdoors growing up, but when I was in college.
Ask a few questions of your own.
You got any questions about what it's like to be a park ranger?
No?
So let me ask you a question. Have you had a park that you visited that you really loved, and what did you like about it? What made it kind of special?
We went to a bike park.
What about your state parks that are on your vest?
What's my favorite? Probably.
Looks like Padre Island, Palo Alto.
I like this one.
It's a pretty cool site.
Close to here.
Mm-hmm. What'd you see there?
Saw cannons.
I was about to say, did you see those really cool cannons? That's what I really like about that site.
How can I help this Texas State Park? Write down the answer below.
So what's something you can do to help a park?
I can pick up plastic
Perfect.
and trash.
And trash. Very good. All right. So the last thing we're going to do is the pledge. Well, the pledge is going to be, repeat after me, and I can't read this one upside down, so I got to flip the book over. Are you ready?
Yeah.
I promise to teach others about what I learned.
I promise to teach others about what I learned.
I promise to help protect this place
I promise to help protect this place
so others can enjoy it too.
so others can enjoy it too.
I promise to follow park rules when I visit a park.
I promise to visit park rules when I visit a park.
I promise to be safe when I'm outdoors.
I promise to be safe when I'm outdoors.
Well, congratulations, Boone. You are our newest park ranger. Haha, the spot. Here's your badge. I knew I grabbed them. All right, are you ready?
Yeah.
Congratulations. Here's your pin. Do you need help putting it on?
Make sure to like and subscribe. And remember, get new badges.